Hello, teachers, parents, and educational leaders, and welcome to this episode of Breaking Down the B.E.S.T. Now, during this episode, you will get a peek into the members-only area where I have tons of resources to help you make math fun, make it click, and make it stick. There should be a link somewhere around this video where you can learn more. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to it, and let's break down the standard. Welcome to Breaking Down the B.E.S.T, a video series dedicated to breaking down Florida's best standards for math. So grab something to write with and maybe even a snack. This looks good. And don't forget to put a smile on your face. There you go, I see you. And let's dive into today's best standard. Hello everyone, my name is Sarah McCarthy and I am super excited that you're taking time out of your crazy busy schedule to join me on this episode where today we're going to break down the following standard. It is MA.5.AR.1.1. The standard says solve multi-step real-world problems involving any combination of the four operations. Those four operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Students will also be expected to, when they have remainders, to interpret them correctly. You might keep the remainder with the quotient, you might use just the remainder, you might drop the remainder altogether, or you might round up your quotient to the next whole, which is all mentioned right there. Okay, by the way, this document that I am marking up all over, this is provided by the Florida Department of Education. They release it to the public. So I'm just showing you how to use a public document like this to break down the standard, what we need to be looking for, and then how I take this information to create resources that are standards-based, that are specifically, strategically aligned to the standards. So I'll show you in your membership what you have access to with this standard today. Some of the related benchmarks, you can definitely take more time to go through these, but just to point out that we have the NSO 2.2 and 2.1, which are multiplication and division of multi-digit numbers. This fraction standard right there is where we're taking a fraction and we know that it can be used as division too. This geometry standard is for real world volume, while this one is for coordinate planes. And then this data analysis and probability is where we can interpret data, the mean, the mode, and the median. So anything that involves a multi-step problem or adding or subtracting or multiplication or division with whole numbers can be related to this standard. Some terms that they said that you need to know are the term dividend, which is the total that we are dividing. The divisor is the one doing all the dividing. And this over here would be our quotient. But the whole thing with the equal sign is called an equation. Where are they coming from in third and fourth grade? Well, in third grade, they had 1 and 2 step word problems with all four operations. In fourth grade, we focused a lot on multiplication and division with real-world problems. And then in sixth grade, they're moving up to multi-step problems with fractions and decimals. So fifth grade focuses on the whole numbers. We bump it up to fractions and decimals in sixth grade. This section is called the Purpose and Instructional Strategies section, and I'm just going to point out some things that jumped out at me while I was taking a look at it. And that's that the purpose is to solve multi-step problems with whole numbers and whole number answers involving any combination of the four operations. This says that teachers should allow students an opportunity to practice with word problems that require multiplication and division, which can be used by drawing and equations. We really want students making sense of the context. So as a student myself, I was a quantity grabber. I would see quantities, I would see keywords as a student, and I would just kind of go to town with the numbers and the operations, not even really understanding the context of the situation. And now as a math teacher, we need to make sure that we are breaking down what is happening in the word problem. We need to model this out for our students, and gradually they will start to understand that too. It's really important that they make sense of the context, because then that helps them decide which operation is happening. To be representing the unknown number with a variable, where we used to use like an unknown box or a question mark, we should be sticking with those letters by now to get them ready for the middle school grades. I'm a fan of this strategy right here, which is to cover up the numbers in word problems and then just have it really focus, allowing students to focus just on what's happening in the problem and saying, okay, whatever amount that is, what are we going to do with it? You know, covering up the quantity with a Post-it note would be awesome to help students make sense of those problems. Common misconceptions and errors. I put that some students struggle because they like to represent the remainder for all situations, but we need to have them practicing interpreting what the quantities mean. So if they have a remainder, what does that mean for the context that they're in? And then these right here are just some examples that you can take a look at, but I think that now would be an awesome time to go ahead and go over to your membership and see what you have access to, okay? So I'll just help you get to where we need to be. We're going to go to Members Enter here. Taking on the B.E.S.T, you might need to log in right here. Click on 5th grade. We're on the algebraic reasoning. And we are on A.R.1.1, our multi-step real-world problems. Okay, so the bronze, silver, and gold members have access to these bronze resources right here with the video lesson specific to the standard, walk students through every step of the way, and this answer key, right? Or not the answer key, but the student guide right here. The answers are provided in the video. So in this one, we have 14 packages of markers for $9 each. So showing we have groups of things in each. I'm not going to go through all this because the video breaks down everything, but take a look at those video lessons if you want to ahead of time, but they're great for students to just follow along. We will be modeling with a drawing until we see which operation is happening and then solve it out. Okay. The silver members, if you are a silver member, you have access to even more. So let's see, you've got some printables here. This is the video lesson that was in the bronze resource, but then you have extra practice problems. Then here is a math mission, multi-step problem with different parts, all aligned to this standard right here. Okay. And then this is the math misconception mystery video, which you just click play right there, and I'll walk your students through the whole thing. First, they'll solve the problem on their own or in a small group. Then they will watch as 4 characters solve that same problem. 3 of those characters will make a mistake and only 1 character solves it correctly. And yes, I will be those characters dressed up as in silly costumes. And then this is the detective report, where students will showcase who the most reasonable answer belongs to and evaluating the work of the ones who made the mistakes. Super fun. They're silly, and just create a safe place to analyze mistakes. And that's what math should be, a safe place to analyze your mistakes. Also, you have your answer keys to all of those printables right there. If you have the gold plan, you have even more. Let's see what you have, gold members. You have this mini assessment right here. A variety of question types aligned to the standard. Okay, you also have the answer key. You have breaking down the B.E.S.T, which is this episode, but it's right here with all of your resources, and it is ad free. That's one of the perks of being a gold member, is that you get that. You might be watching this on YouTube right now, but just know if you're a gold member, you have it right there for you. So you don't have to go hunting for anything. And then probably the main reason why you have the gold plan is because you have access to McCarthy Math 155, which is a daily math intervention that I created to be aligned to the Common Core standards, so our standards from the past. This is the program that Florida teachers were using before we transitioned into the B.E.S.T standards, but it wasn't enough to support you for the B.E.S.T standards. But there are a lot of resources that you can use in here, and if you're a gold member, you know why. So The 155 stands for 155 video lessons for every grade. I'm going to click on 5th grade right now. So I think what I would do is, I think I would be focusing on the multiplication and division units here. If you know in 5th grade that you have students that really need help with multiplication, go here because we break it down. Look, it goes all the way up to 5 digits by 2 digits. Lots of practice. This is the printable student workbook page right next to it. Lots of practice. Word problems right there for you too. So you know in this standard you're going to have students that struggle, and as a gold member you have access to so much. You have all the division too. Step by step every day you can assign videos for students to be doing to practice to meet the needs that they'll need with those B.E.S.T standards, okay? All right, I think that's it. Thank you for joining me in this episode today. I hope it helped to break down this standard, to see what was involved with this standard, to see what you have access to with your membership, how it's specifically aligned to that standard. Before you go, I want to remind you that what you choose to do with your life every day, it really does matter. I want to thank you for showing up to lead your students to the best of your ability, to showcase the best version of yourself that allows them to step into the best version of themselves too, to be inspired to do the same. I know that you have a lot to do, so I'm going to let you go, and I will see you on the next episode, okay? All right, bye. Okay, so I know that I just said goodbye for now, but I'm gonna ask you to do one more thing, okay? If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your teacher friends or other leaders in education. That's how I get to continue doing what I love to do, which of course is supporting you all to the best of my ability. All right, for real now. Bye.